What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Thursday, September 4th, 2025, and I have some breaking news to share with you guys. Right now it is 14:27 Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from the DC area and from Europe. So what you're looking at here is some new video footage that was released today showing what appear to be hundreds and hundreds of U.S. military vehicles being moved into the D.C. area. And we know this is the D.C. area because you can see this highway sign here that says 2395 North. Let me just play this video for you. It is just absolutely insane. Look at all of those armored vehicles. These are the new joint light tactical vehicles that replace the Humvees. Okay, you can see the Capitol building right there. Look at that, guys. Absolutely insane. Look at how long that train goes. Just hundreds and hundreds of armored vehicles being moved into the DC area. You can clearly see the Washington Monument right there, the Capitol building. I mean, this is just unprecedented. So what is the Trump administration preparing for? Why do they need hundreds of these vehicles in the DC area? Look at that, guys. That is just totally insane. I've never seen anything like this before in my life. And Colombia's president said about the Venezuelan ship that was sunk by the U.S. military that if this is true, it's murder. Wow. And Zelensky said he had a long and very detailed conversation with Trump today during the Coalition of the Willing meeting. He said, "We discussed various options. The key to peace is to deprive the Russian war machine of money and resources." He also said that Ukraine suggested that the U.S. consider a special format for protecting Ukrainian skies. Okay, so a long and detailed discussion with Trump today, and they talked about different options to deprive the Russian war machine of money and resources and protecting Ukrainian skies. And during today's call between U.S. President Trump and European leaders, part of the Coalition of the Willing in Ukraine, Trump stated that countries in Europe, specifically Hungary and Slovakia, must immediately stop any further purchase of Russian oil products, while stressing the need for increased economic pressure on China for their continued support of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, according to senior officials with the White House. Wow, so Trump telling the Europeans we cannot buy Russian oil anymore, specifically mentioning Hungary and Slovakia, which is very interesting, and also saying that there needs to be pressure put on China because of their support for Russia's war machine. And following today's meeting, both in person and virtual, of the Coalition of the Willing in Paris, 26 countries have reportedly agreed to provide security guarantees to Ukraine, including Australia, Canada, Japan, New Zealand, and the United States. Wow. Okay, so lots of countries pledging to provide security for Ukraine, troops in Ukraine as peacekeepers. And Trump said yesterday that Putin and Zelensky are not ready to make peace yet, but something will happen soon. We'll do it. Frankly, I thought the Russian option would be the easiest of the ones I stopped, but it looks like it's a little more complicated than the others. So Trump finally realizing that this is not a simple situation. And according to several channels linked to Ukrainian intelligence, the Russian Air Force suffered immense technical issues during its latest missile attack against Ukraine on September 2nd and 3rd, resulting in them only being able to launch roughly 8 of 40 air-launched cruise missiles intended for strikes against cities in western Ukraine. Very interesting. And a dead Ukrainian border guard soldier was found near the Polish border, according to the Ukrainian State Border Guard Service. The deceased soldier served in one of the units of the Volyn Border Guard Detachment. A weapon was found next to his body. Very interesting. So this footage is just totally insane. And right now we have U.S. nuclear forces on high alert again. We have a presidential doomsday plane airborne over the Midwest. It flew from Offutt Air Base to Tinker Air Force Base. We also have a Combat Sentinel airborne, which is a high priority recon plane. These planes are typically used to fly near China or Russia or Iran to pick up radio signals to try to locate enemy radars, but this is a high priority reconnaissance plane, the highest priority reconnaissance plane in the U.S. military. It sends intelligence directly to the president, and it's airborne right now over the Rocky Mountains. And then the Doomsday plane. We also have a nuclear war command and control plane airborne over Missouri, and then 2 B-52s. So a lot of activity today. And here's a picture of the Coalition of the Willing meeting in Paris today. You can see Zelensky, Macron, the Italian Prime Minister, looks like Ursula von der Leyen, the Polish Prime Minister, and the Finnish President. And there were some others I missed. Looks like Mark Rutte was there too. And the Danish government announced Wednesday that the Ukrainian defense manufacturer Firepoint, who produces the Flamingo long-range cruise missile for Ukraine, will begin the production of fuel for these missiles at a new complex near Skrydstrup Air Force Base in Denmark. So Denmark is going to be producing fuel for these 2,000-kilometer range Flamingo missiles that Ukraine has just developed with a 2,000-pound warhead on them. So these missiles can easily reach all the way to the Urals and probably even up to Russia's Northern Fleet base in Murmansk, where Russia has 2/3 of their nuclear-armed submarines. And so we have NATO countries helping Ukraine develop these long-range missiles, which can strike well beyond Moscow. Okay, so that basically brings Europe into the conflict, and now Russia is justified to attack the European countries. I think it's coming, guys. It's just a matter of time. And the Israeli Defense Force has announced that 12 ministers in the Houthi political and security cabinet were killed in the strikes against the Yemeni capital of Sana'a on August 28th, dubbed Operation Lucky Drop, which reportedly targeted a military facility used by the senior military command, where senior military figures alongside government ministers were present and directly involved in directing and managing terror activities against Israel. Those killed in the strikes include Prime Minister of Houthi-controlled Yemen, Ahmed al-Rahawi, Minister of Culture and Tourism, Ali Qasem Hussein al-Yafei, Political Chief of Staff Mohammed al-Kubasi, Cabinet Secretary Zahad al-Ahmadi, Minister of Foreign Affairs Jamal Ahmed Ali Amr, Minister of Welfare and Labor Sami Mohammed Ahmed Baja Allah, Minister of Information Hashem Ahmed Abdul Raham Sharaf al-Din, Minister of Justice and Human Rights Mujahid Ahmed Abdullah Ali, Minister of Youth and Sports Mohammed Ahmed Ali al-Muwallad, Minister of Industry and Trade Ma'in Hashem Ahmed al-Mahkahar, Minister of Electricity, Energy and Water Ali Saif Mohammed Hassan Shar, and Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Water Resources Rajwan Ali al-Rubay. Wow, so they took out a lot of these Houthi leaders. And the FBI raided the home of a 12-year-old for building a nuclear lab in his house. Memphis boy achieves fusion in bedroom while federal agents check radiation levels with Geiger counters. At just 12 years old, Jackson Oswalt from Memphis, Tennessee, achieved a remarkable scientific milestone by successfully conducting nuclear fusion in his bedroom, earning him a Guinness World Record and sparking both awe and scrutiny from the scientific community and federal authorities. So what this is they're basically punishing him. Okay, the FBI making a big scene out of it, raiding his house because he made a scientific breakthrough, because God forbid us peasants actually discover something and not the industrial complex, okay, and the quote-unquote scientific community, all right? And we have a tropical disturbance in the tropical Atlantic with a 90% chance of development. This is the AL91 tropical disturbance. We're going to be keeping an eye on it. Looks like a tropical depression is likely to form very soon. 90% chance of development according to the National Hurricane Center. But I will be back later on tonight with a live update and live coverage. Also, I wanted to mention that yesterday we had some interesting activity on the Russian primary nuclear war frequency, the buzzer. There were some intermittent data streams transmitted on the buzzer, which is unusual. And then we also had that B-2 stealth bomber moved across the Atlantic yesterday. So something is brewing in Europe. But until the next time, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and persevere. And this update was sponsored by EMP Shield. Guys, EMP Shield has created a special discount just for you, the listeners of the NYPrepper channel. If you go to empshield.com and use the promo code NYPrepper, you can get 15% off your entire order. And why do you need an EMP Shield? Well, this is a special device to protect your vehicle, your RV, your solar generators, your radios from an electromagnetic pulse, which could be caused by a solar flare or potentially a rogue country like North Korea detonating an electromagnetic pulse weapon over the United States that's mounted onto a satellite. So protect your vehicles, protect your RV, protect your radios, protect your generators with an EMP Shield. Use my promo code NYPrepper to get 15% off. Installation is super simple. This is a veteran-owned business, 100% American-made, and the EMP Shields have been tested by the military, okay? And free shipping is included to the entire continental United States. And the link and the promo code are in the description below this video.